Yo, I was talking and I didn't hit record before. Anyway, that's fine. Okay, so this is Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, episode 6. So we are in the middle of we get to see Paulie in his fly house. I love it. And Dolores's dad comes over and he brings his own soda. Now, I know you go to people's houses and typically people will bring like a bottle of wine, but to bring Coke is really, really funny. And then he's like, yeah, it's too early for Coke though, but we'll give you coffee. And so then they have this little walk and they liked each other. And Dolores is having a fundraiser and um which happens every season when they do play softball. And you have Melissa and Joe and I think it's Rachel. By the way, every episode you get to look deeper and deeper at you see more and more of Rachel's nose, and I must say I need a before picture. I need a before picture before she had the nose job for me to really determine how bad the nose job is, because as of right now, the nose job does kind of suck. And I've said this every episode, and mainly because the bad nose job keeps coming up. And it's fascinating because Rachel doesn't seems to be pretty cool with her nose job. And they made a comment about, that was Margaret made a comment that you can't be as bad as Jennifer because she fell flat on her face last time. And it's like, well, don't injure the nose. I was like, my gosh, are these people very obsessed with the noses? Anywho, Rachel. Okay, so yeah, Rachel and her husband and Frank and his girlfriend. So Frank expresses how sad he feels and actually starts crying at the relationship distance that he's having with Dolores. And it's kind of strange because the girlfriend's like, yeah, at first I thought it was strange too, and how connected they are. But I'm like, but he's crying because he feels that his relationship's not like it used to be with his ex-wife. Man, I mean, it's just so strange because you don't have young kids, you have grown kids. You do not need to live in the same house. You do not need to be all in each other's business this way. You do not need to talk multiple times a day. There is nothing to talk about this much. Like, live as divorced people. You have a girlfriend, she has a boyfriend, live separately, move out. It is just the strangest thing. So he's emotional, and Melissa and Joe is trying to be super supportive of his emotional situation. And okay. And then you have Rachel. Sorry. Okay. So then you have Melissa and Joe. Okay. Rachel. Rachel tells Melissa that what Teresa and Jennifer has said to her about warning her about how Margaret is. And then Melissa's like, Teresa doesn't like me or him or Margaret. And it's like, Teresa doesn't like Joe. I don't know if Teresa doesn't. I think that's a bridge too far. I don't think that she likes the fact that she feels that Joe is lying. But to say that she doesn't like her brother, now she doesn't like you. And to be fair, why would anyone like Margaret? I mean, Margaret, there are some positives about Margaret, and I am there for some of the positives, but as a whole, I'm siding with I'm siding, on this side that, Margaret hasn't been the nicest, hasn't been, she's like, oh, I'm so supportive. Oh, I'm so cool. No, 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 Margaret, stop. And so I totally understand why Teresa and Jennifer would feel the way they did. Now, this leads me, and so I was kind of like, ugh, go somewhere. Now, Jennifer, it was very fascinating because Jennifer does consistently blame Margaret for revealing the fact that her husband had an affair. And okay, so this is how I slide down on this. I can, first of all, you're on a reality TV show, and anybody at any given time is willing to pull up your skeletons. And I think that if you're going to be on a reality TV show, you have to expect people to pull up any bad thing that you've ever done and pull it out, because people are always going to, especially on Twitter and social media, they're going to always have like, let me tell you the newest thing. Let me tell you what's going so bad about this person. She's not how she is. He's not how he is. Blah, 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 blah. Because people always want clicks and views and whatever. So I feel like you knew your husband had an affair. You should have expected it to come out at one point or the other. So I somewhat do not agree that Jennifer's blaming Margaret for the fact that her kids found out that her husband cheated. So, and because, it's all on, it does suck that your daughter found out on TikTok. And so I get that. And so then now you have to confront, and Jay-Z does this whole verse. He does a line in Kill Jay-Z is that I don't want, he's like, the one thing is that it would break my heart that his daughter doesn't see him the same way. And because your daughter, your daughter's going to eventually find out, and that's what he is striving against. And I think that that's, um, you know, uh, I don't have a good answer for this. And I don't think that children should be involved in parents' relationships. And I don't think that it's the parents' responsibility to tell the kids, mom cheated on me, dad cheated on me, or to get into the specifics on if you're getting a divorce, because now you're making the children choose between the two. Because when you're getting into the adultification of your relationship and including them in, then you're getting them to choose, make a decision on how they feel. There is no, I don't care how you slice it. If a person cheats and they blame the sun, the moon, the stars, all of these things, that's not going to, the kids are not going to receive all of these reasons unless that person is like a really horrible person. So I just think that this does never ends well. This does not go well. And so fine. So here we are. We're going through this laundry list of the reasons of the cheating, right? And so the daughter made a comment at the birthday party last week that she wants to be a love doctor. So when Rachel's like, oh, it broke my heart when your daughter told me that. And I was just thinking, kids change their careers like a bazillion times, right? But okay, we're upset. at the fact that now she moved from fashion to being a possibly psychiatrist or a marriage, child, and family therapist. Like, so now I'm like, okay, so now we're completely upset. You're heartbroken. She's never told me this before. And now you're in therapy. Okay, so the therapist is explaining, the therapist is making connections like, okay, so are you saying that the therapist probably did say, are you thinking that it's because of y'all? And so clearly, uh, it motivated him to come to therapy. Great. So now we're in therapy. And Jennifer is sitting here thinking it's just talking up a storm. And honestly, what I get out of this, he's barely saying anything. It's fascinating that they're upset. This is what bothered me. They're more upset that the kids found out than they are about the fact that he cheated. Like, they're not even dealing with, you cheated, that hurt me. It was, my kids know. Now, I understand that there's a hurt from being cheated on, but then knowing that so many other people know and knowing that the public knows and knowing that your kids know, that's a different level of hurt that comes along. And so I can acknowledge that. But it is strange that the entire session that they showed is simply based on everyone found out. And I feel a way that everyone found out. And I'm just like, that's what we're upset over. He cheated on you. He didn't just have sex. He had a full-fledged relationship with this woman. And it wasn't just this one time, and it was like, oh, this one mistake. But I'm letting you know right now, I looked at it, I received it, and I moved on from it. I don't feel as bad about it, but what I do think I concluded from watching this, that this woman is going to be with this man, and when she's like, I feel like I'm checking out, her definition of checking out is, I'm not getting a divorce. I'm just going to stick it out in this situation, in this marriage that's going to drive me to be completely sad. I'm not going to cheat on him, but I bet you that there's a prenup that talks about cheating. So she's not going to cheat on the dude. She's just going to be in this miserable marriage until he divorces her. So one day she's going to wake up and he's going to put her out. And that's essentially what's going to happen. And so they're going to keep going to counseling. He don't look like he cares about the counseling, but okay, cool beans. The event, like I said, the fundraiser went well. Everyone seemed to be cool. It was, again, the conversation about Jennifer and Teresa warned me to not talk to you when it comes to Margaret. And so now Danielle and Rachel are telling Margaret that Teresa and Jennifer warned us not to be bothered with you and to keep you a close friend and not an enemy. And she's just like, well, I said what I said. She should be with the ball player. She's beautiful. And Danielle's like, was it Danielle? I think it's Danielle. It's either Danielle or Rachel are like, I think it's Danielle. Like, I'm gonna need you not to be saying, like, if we're having marital problems, I'm gonna need you not to be like, oh, you can be with the ball player. Like, I'm gonna need you to support my marriage. Look, somebody's confiding into Margaret about your marriage, but I will say that they were publicly fighting all in front of everyone. So you're going to get public comments when you put your public fights with your spouse in front of everyone. Like I said, the event went well, seems well. Oh, last thing. Teresa commented about Antonia not coming to her daughter's 16th birthday, even though her daughter went to Antonia's 16th birthday. Now, you would think that she was like, I'm not going and I'm just sleeping. No, she had a cheer competition. Ma'am, she can miss the birthday because she has a cheer competition. Like, cheer competition, a game. Why would she miss that to go to a 16th birthday party? I just find that to be, you are making a mountain out of a molehill. You guys, there is legitimate beef between Teresa and Melissa and Joe, for sure. But every little decision and every little thing that happens turns into being this very large thing that is unnecessary. And this one, it's very small. She should not be missing her competitions to go to a Sweet 16 party. Now, could they have made other accommodations after the fact? Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we could adapt there. Okay. So with that being said, I'm curious to see what happens next week. I guess the only thing that I'm curious to see about is what I appreciate Danielle's like, look, y'all over here talking about me and my brother. If you have something to say about me and my brother, then how about you come and talk to me and include me in the conversation? I am all for that kind of energy. So I'm looking forward to that next week. Um, it's nice that there's other drama besides the Teresa and Melissa thing, but at this point, the drama seems to be pretty minuscule. So, with that being said, bye.